Hey guys, what's up? My name is Maros and welcome to this video. So the topic today is, where do victims store their anger? So by the end of this video, you will learn how the feeling of being victim works, how it operates, how it's driven, and what is the one surprising thing that not many people talk about, not many coaches know about. And it's really a key to actually disassembling the victim mentality and the victim feeling and being stuckness in unresolved psychological trauma in the past. So if you're a coach or therapist, by the end of this video, you will have a clearer understanding and you will not go into panic if your clients start to show up these patterns. And if you're a random person, like random stranger or man who is watching this video, you'll have a clear understanding of yourself or of what's happening in your unconscious, so that you can actually work with this proactively and let go. I'm gonna take 1 second to check if everything is right. Yes, okay. So one disclaimer, there are 2 flies in this room. I'm struggling with getting out of this place for like last 15 minutes. So there's a high chance they are really annoying. There's a high chance that one of them is going to sit on my face. So if that happens, I'm taking that as a challenge not to do a thing and just keep going with a fly sitting on my forehead. So the first thing, when I talk about victim mentality, I'm talking about the feeling. I'm not talking about the actual experience where you know that right now you are being stuck because you are going through something that happened in the past and you don't know how to move beyond that, which can be physical abuse, sexual abuse, all sorts of stuff. Victim mindset, by the definition today, is any situation where you feel like you're not in charge of your life, where you feel like you are the victim of the circumstances, right? Something happens and because of that, you're unable to move on. And this can be your parents. You had a childhood where some unrepairable damage was done. Now for the rest of your life, you will suffer. This can be repeated behavior in the past. So for instance, you went through, like you drank so much alcohol in your teens or in your 20s that now you think that you're unrepairable because you had all this trauma in your mind. There's nothing you can do. This can be with drugs, with like too much sex in life, changing partners, all sorts of stuff where you simply think something in my life happened, and now as a result of that, I don't have my power. I cannot do anything. Now, the thing is, the victim mindset, the victim mentality is a defense mechanism. I think I have mentioned this in one of the earlier videos, but in the end of the day, victim mentality is really the defense mechanism for your mind to create meaning of the world around you in order for you to safely operate and survive in the future. So for instance, if you are experiencing something in your childhood which is super painful and you don't have any explanation for that, there's no way, like you're unable to process your own emotions, like there's this like huge pain you're feeling. Let's say you feel misunderstood by your parents or mistreated by your parents. You have no idea why it happens. You cannot find the peace of mind with the emotion unless you create some story, some meaning behind that. So that, why? Because when it happens in the future, you don't have to go through the same pain again, right? So if this thing happens and you feel extremely misunderstood by your parents or rejected, then you feel this pain, you're somewhere alone, you're trying to process the pain. Eventually, if you do not find any meaning, your mind will come up with a meaning that, okay, what if it's just the way things are? What if I'm just like, that's just the way I am. That's how this whole thing is made, that I have to suffer. There's nothing I can do. I'm hopeless, I'm powerless. There's nothing I can do. And in fact, I'm right. Like I'm morally right, but the life simply sucks and there's nothing I can do. So this is really like, I'm suffering because of someone else. This is the bottom line. And if you come with this conclusion, there's a relief. There's a relief because, okay, I'm suffering, it's terrible, I can't do anything about it, but at least it's not my choice. At least it's not my responsibility. At least it feels a little bit better. So in the next time you go through the same pain, you don't have to go through this period of emptiness where you just feel the psychological pain, you feel a very low emotion, you have no understanding it. You go like, oh, yeah, it's because of this. It's because it always happens to me. And then you go again, because that's because it always happened to me. and this happens again and again and again and again, and when it happens enough times, you will condition this as something that psychologists call learned helplessness. And that's the victim. That's what I call the victim mentality, the victim mindset, or the feeling of being a victim. Now, the thing is, the victim mentality, psychologically speaking, seems to be very beneficial. Why? Because first, the victim is always right. Right? Like you feel that you're right in a sense that you did not do anything wrong, you have no responsibility, you feel this pain, there is nothing you could have done. And you can, when you do the justification, you can clearly point at someone who is responsible for your pain, and no one can take that to you. So you're right. You're morally superior, right? You're the good one. In the victim mentality, you're the person who is the good one, where there's clearly the perpetrator. So this feels good of being, being the good one. And the third part, the third element, is that you're entitled to sympathy. This is again like psychologically, when you're in this poor, helpless place where you feel that there's nothing and like you can't do anything. The only thing that can be done is that someone shows up and they're gonna save you. Right? This is the basis of the codependency triangle. If you're familiar with that, there's victim. Victim has a clearly defined perpetrator, and it seeks for savior so that they help them to get through their pains. Why is this the case? Because if I'm in this victim feeling and I outsource my responsibility for my suffering to the perpetrator, by the law of polarity, I also have to outsource responsibility for the one who is going to make me feel better. This is the person that made me feel worse. This is the person that's going to make me feel better. This is the tyrant or the persecutor, and this is the savior. One way or another, it feels kind of good in terms of you're relieving short-term pain, but in the long term, it's completely dysfunctional. It's taking away the power. It's taking away your ability to act, your ability to think for yourself, your ability to take responsibility for your career, for your dating life, for your relationships. And in the end of the day, it results into stuckness. Now, if you identify yourself with this, then there's good news, because you can't get out of that, no matter what happened to you in the past. Before I get there, there is one more layer that many people experience. And it's that they say that there comes a moment in their lives when they say, you know what? I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. And they start to channel massive amount of energy in order to overcome all these feelings that are coming up. And they say I'm not a victim. I'm not feeling bad. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. And I'm just going to keep going. And there's a lot of high achievers who seems to be having great results. They're having great positions at work. Some of them are even successful with women, successful in all sorts of, maybe in sports. But what happens is that this layer of hurt that's underneath was covered by this massive desire to change things and to make things happen through doing. Now, I was experiencing this for a long, long time. I had no idea what was going on. I just knew that I felt like I was super low. I had no idea, I couldn't put my shit together. I couldn't get myself out of these states. Then I was like, this is the thing. Now I'm going to put all of my effort in this, and everything is going to change. And I would put inhuman effort in achievement and in striving for things. And I would be able to do this for several months. I would be able to get a lot of achievement, but eventually I would be tired, I would wear myself out, and then I would sleep for 3 days, and I would be, I would be almost depressed. So if you are experiencing this, you can notice that if you know that you are in this category of people, if being called a victim triggers the hell out of you. If there is someone who wants to help you and they tell you that you might be in a victim pattern, you need to put your shit together, you need to do something, and you go into rage, why is this saying that again? It's very likely that there is this layer of being a victim underneath. Now, the thing is that being a victim, there's a few very sophisticated ways how being a victim, like the pattern of being a victim, kind of holds itself in place and is stuck in the unconscious. So one way how you can see this is that when you're speaking with someone, I think I shared this in the description, when you speak with someone who is in the victim mentality, and you see that they're in this learned helplessness, and you are talking to them, you are asking them questions, but anytime you ask something constructive or you say something constructive to them, you give a suggestion or something, they're saying, yeah, but, and then they say, why it's not going to work. And then you go into, okay, maybe if I ask it from a different angle, they're going to get it. So you ask a question from a different angle, and the person goes, yeah, but that wouldn't work because I already tried it, and this is what happened. And it's not so easy. Guys, I've seen a group therapy of 22 people where there was one person who was feeling bad. They were saying that they feel really, really bad, and they were asking for help. That's what it appeared like, at least. And 20 people were shooting advices, shooting suggestions. And the one person, anytime they said, the person said always, yeah, about this, yeah, about this, yeah, about this. And what would happen eventually, I was watching this, I was giving suggestions in the beginning, and I was like something's wrong here. Like this is really weird. And then I stopped asking questions, and I noticed that like the level of anger of everyone in the room started to rise. Like people got more and more angry, both her and both the people. And then the therapist that was in charge of this whole thing said, guys, could you please stop playing the yeah but game? Could you please stop? Like, don't you see that she's saying yeah but, and she's proving you that you don't understand her. She's proving you that she's not responsible for whatever she goes through. And all the guys were getting angry, and they were frustrated because she doesn't understand them. She's not taking responsibility. And they're frustrated because they also feel responsible for her putting her shit together, but they're failing. And this is really the interaction between the saviors and the victim. So what is driving the thing? What's driving the thing is the repressed anger in the victim behind the belief that they don't understand. But you do not, like, if she was super honest about what she really felt and what was really going on inside her, she would be yelling at them, but you don't understand me. You don't understand what I went through. It's not so easy. This is the first thing. That's the first, this is the first anger-driven belief of the victim mentality. And the second is, I'm not responsible. I did not make that happen. I did not make that happen. And there is loads and loads of anger behind this. Notice, if you speak with someone who is in a victim mentality and you give these suggestions and you are genuinely wanting to help, and there comes a moment where you're really frustrated and you're like, what the hell, dude? Like, you're just doing it all, like you're doing all this stuff. Like there's no one doing it to you. It's just you. You're doing all this stuff to yourself. They would have tendency to get offended. Some of them would even stand up and leave. And some of them would go into, like, some of them would just wake up like, oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you for just being direct and honest right into my face, because I really needed that. But some of them will tell you, you know what, screw you. You have no idea what I'm going through. You're like, screw you. I'm not talking to you anymore because you don't understand me. And that's the anger when they stand up and they leave, which is passive form of anger, abandonment, right? So it's really interesting how these things work, and it's really irrational. Those people want to take responsibility for their lives. They genuinely want to feel better. They genuinely want to create their lives the way they want. Like everyone does, right? Everyone wants to create a life where they're happy in their relationships, happy in their career and purpose, happy in their, friendships and relationships, and have a fit body. Who doesn't want that? Everyone does. But if you went through an experience a long time ago where you felt it misunderstood, you felt it was unfair, which it was. You felt that it was unjust, which it was. If you were 5, you didn't get approval, you had no idea how to make meaning out of that. It's really damn unfair, and it feels really terrible. And if there was no one to acknowledge this for you, or if you never had an opportunity to process this experience, it's going to show up as this. And then, like what happens as well, and this was happening to me for a very, very long time, there would be people trying to help me. I would listen to them. I would feel that they don't understand me, but I would be it's like I cannot just those guys are trying to help me, so I cannot just yell in their face like, you guys don't understand me, I'm not responsible for this, it just happened to me. It's impossible. But sometimes I would really make a massive effort to find a mutual understanding. And if I failed, I would not even go out with all this anger. I would just keep it in myself, but then they would leave, and I would feel that I failed to get better, and I would also feel that they failed to help me, which made me feel even worse. And all of this stuff would just stay inside. So it seems like a pretty dead end, because it's really difficult to figure these things out conversationally or rationally or logically, because it's not rational. It's not rational. It's just the energy of anger stored in the body from the past. And when you are trying to think about it logically through confirmation bias and through projecting your own experience, you're going to recreate those things again and again. So what helped me massively, and how I finally got rid of, I would say 85, maybe 90% of this stuff, was just to feel the anger behind that. It's like taking my highest value is taking absolute responsibility. You are absolutely responsible for everything that's happening in your life, for every result you're having in your life. The reason why I have this is that it's the fastest way to create change, and it's the easiest way to feel empowered. Because when you believe this, then you can change everything. It's also the value that is very common among people with extraordinary results, extraordinary experiences in life. So it's kind of modeled as well for me. But anyway, you can take responsibility for not taking responsibility. And that's how you can tap into the anger. So if you can get to a place where you feel that you are not responsible for experience, you can feel that no one really understands you. And if you allow yourself to feel these feelings, and you can welcome these feelings, and you can process them through emotional releasing, which is a technique I work with, then you are able to actually let go of the, I don't know, sound esoteric, but you can let go of the energy that's underlying the thinking which produces these results. If I'm not using this language, I can say that you're getting rid of the emotion that's stuck in your body, that's driving the thinking and creating those victim results and learn helplessness. If I want to be even less esoteric and more scientific, I can say you're getting rid of the trauma, you're processing the trauma that's stuck in your unconscious, so that you can let go of these patterns and take responsibility finally and create those results without having to overcome this massive resistance, right? So now my camera turned off. I have no idea why, but let me put it back on. And okay, I had a little technical issue, so I'm back in 1 second. And I'm going to finish with my original camera. Yes. So that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to share with you on where victims store their anger. It's, I'm not responsible. You don't understand me. I'm not responsible. That's the first belief. The second belief is you don't understand me. You have no idea what I went through. And the emotion of anger is driven by this. The other way, which is literally like a sister of these two, it's unfair. It was unfair. And all of these beliefs are perfectly justified, not because it's the truth of the reality, but because it's the truth of your experience that you had in the past that you did not acknowledge, or you did not give yourself space to acknowledge, process, feel, and let go. So if that's something you want to do, that's something I work with, and I only work with men. So if you want to process these thoughts and you want to move towards confidence and towards authentic masculine confidence, this is going to help your results in business and love life, which is whether you're in dating currently or you already have a relationship, then go to buymaros.com/book now and book a session with me. What we will do, I will help you to understand where you're at currently. We're going to look at where you want to be, what kind of life you want to experience, what's your vision for your life. And then we're going to create a step-by-step game plan to help you move from this place to this place. Okay? It's absolutely free. It's going to be 60 minutes. The reason why I'm doing it is that if it clicks, if we have chemistry, if you think and if you feel like I'm someone who can help you deal with all this, then I will absolutely show you how our cooperation would work. If not, it's still fine, and I want you to have value from this conversation. Okay, so thank you so much. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment, and I'm gonna answer them once I finish this live stream. So yeah, have a fantastic rest of the Tuesday, and I'm gonna see you in the next live stream. Bye.